Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, I have brought you several videos on this particular storyline. So here is the latest update. We're speaking of course about the P&Id judgment against the Nigerian state in London. So they have this judgment for $10 million, which is about 20% of Nigeria's foreign reserves. So P&Id have this judgment against Nigeria in the United Kingdom. So the Attorney General of Nigeria, Abubakar Malami, the guy that was trained in Maiduguri University, Uthman Danfodio University, who is now the Attorney General of the Federation apparently, he is now having something to say on the matter. As guys, I bring you this. Nigeria secures landmark victory in P&Id contract suit, a headline attributed to Malami. So he's now trying to claim some sort of a victory. Of course, I mean, he has no hand in this other than just sitting in an office and signing checks. But nevertheless, the headline, Nigeria secures landmark victory in P&Id contract suit, a headline attributed to Abubakar Malami. So now let's now see what the alumni of Uthman Danfodio University has to say. The federal government has secured a landmark victory in its pursuit to overturn a $10 million judgment awarded against it in a case against Process and Industrial Development, P&Id. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, in a statement in Abuja on Friday, said the court has granted Nigeria's application for an extension of time and relief from sanctions due to the exceptional circumstances where the government has uncovered evidence of massive fraud in procuring the award. Malami said the court heard evidence from the government and the offshore company P&Id in relation to the gas supply and processing agreement. The agreement was entered into by the parties 10 years ago and which was never performed. He said the Buhari-led administration, having inherited the dispute from the previous administration, only recently uncovered evidence that the GSPA, which is the agreement, was a sham commercial deal. This was designed to fail from the start, and that its subsequent arbitral award was based on fraud and corruption. He said the government relied on a number of ongoing investigations across multiple jurisdictions, including the United States, to build its case. He said that the government would proceed to a full trial of the issues where the government's substantive application to finally set aside the award will be heard. He added that the government of Nigeria was pleased with the outcome from the High Court ruling. This is a major victory in our ongoing fight against the vulture fund-backed P&Id to overturn the injustice of the multi-billion-dollar arbitral award. In light of the new and substantive evidence presented regarding P&Id's fraudulent and corrupt activities, the court has granted our application for an extension of time to hear our challenge out of normal time limits. The federal government will now proceed to a full hearing of our fraud challenge in the coming months, he said. So an extension of time, of course, is what this guy is counting as a victory. But then, of course, why did he let the time lapse in the first instance is the first question to go to. And the answer to that question is Uthman Danfodio University, Maiduguri. So Uthman Danfodio University, Maiduguri is what is playing out now in London, but an extension of time to go to a full trial is not a victory in a case. It's just a setting aside. It's not even setting aside, but it's putting that judgment in abeyance to hear what the Nigerian government has to say, because we are talking about a significant amount of money. So it behooves then the legal system in the United Kingdom to allow full access to all avenues for redress so that they can exhaust their full legal options before this judgment can be enforced. So it is that allowance now, of course, now that our man is running around Abuja patting himself on the back as a victory, because of course the lawyers in London have told him that it's a victory, and he, not having a full understanding of what is going on, is going around beating drum beats that it is a victory. So they are basing this thing, of course, this victory that they are claiming, on ongoing investigations, and they are saying that there's fraud inherent within the processes that facilitated that contract, which is what they are relying on. And they are saying that these fraudulent things are being investigated in several jurisdictions. Of course, United States is one of the investigations that they are relying on, and they are doing their own investigations in Nigeria too. And I think off the back of that investigation, of those investigations, they are now hinging a hope on that case or that judgment rather will be overturned, because the monies involved really is going to almost virtually collapse the Nigerian economy if that judgment is not set aside, or is not denied, or removed, or whatever it is that they do. It is going to virtually collapse the Nigerian economy, because, as I said, that amount is virtually 20% of Nigeria's foreign reserves. And when all of the rating organizations in the world are looking at an economy for reasons of lending, they weigh all of these foreign reserves along with the economic activities and future plans, etc., of that country. All these are companies like Finch or something. I think Finch is the name of the premier rating companies that rate the economies of a country. So they do their ratings inclusive of these foreign reserves to then arrive at what they feel is the net worth of that country, which is then what that country uses to access finance internationally. So if Nigeria is lowered in their ratings by this judgment, one, the loss of $10 billion dollars is not really something that the Nigerian economy can sustain. And then two, the impact of that loss, which will reduce the Nigerian ratings within the international community, which will then reduce their access to finance at a favorable rate, because of course the more of a risk you are to lenders, then the more stringent the conditions of that borrowing would be. So it's a real impact judgment that is being awarded in London, and this is why the British legal system is taking this time to allow Nigeria explore all avenues to overturn that judgment before it is enforced. Because if it is enforced, then the Nigerian economy will just go into a depression. There's almost a certainty that that will be the case. Conversations in the comment section. Agf Malami, our Uthman Danfodio University in Maiduguri, Borno State. Of course, you all know Borno State is the headquarters of Boko H. So he was trained there, and he is now contending legal cases in the United Kingdom with an American firm, and this is where we are in Nigeria. What says you? Come share thoughts. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop any video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done the clickings, come tell me then what you're making of this P&Id case. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation with you in the comment section. But here I say peace.